Hello, I'm Professor Grandjean, and welcome to another episode of A Drunk History. This cup is empty. I don't know why I'm lying to you. So, let's talk about Joshua Abraham Norton I, Emperor of the United States. Joshua Abraham Norton was born in England to the child of two merchants that were Jewish. And then he went on a boat. His parents took him on a boat. And they said, let's go to South Africa. It's bopping there. It's a grand old party. And he lived there. And nothing happened. And since nothing was happening in South Africa, Joshua Norton said, gosh darn it, I want to go where something's happening. I want to meet some people, do some things. So he travels to America, land of the something. And he goes there, and he becomes a real estater. And he's like, real estate's cool, but it's not that cool. So I want to try rice farming now. And by rice farming, I mean selling other people's rice. So he comes up with this plan to scam the rice industry of San Francisco, California. He gets this guy, right? And this guy's like, yo, dog, I got all the rice you need. They got that embargo, they got that ban on rice, so you're gonna get so much money because there's not a market for it. And so Josh buys like a whole bunch of this rice for a good price, and then the ban like goes away or whatever, and then the market gets flooded with rice. There's so much rice. He cannot handle the amount of rice that is there, and he loses all of his money. And it's all gone. And then Joshua was really sad about that, so he just disappeared for like 10 years, 7 years, 17 years, 7 years. So, when he reemerged from hiding, Joshua was done just being someone who sells rice. He was sick of it. So, he got up one day in 1859, and he said, hey, San Francisco, I'm the Emperor of the United States now. And he declared himself emperor. To the people of San Francisco, this was the funniest thing they've ever seen in their hecking life. Like, everybody was just like, alright, I can get behind this, good meme. So everyone just sort of like treated him like he was the emperor, you know? He ate at the finest restaurants in San Francisco, despite not having any money to pay for his meals. And since he didn't have any money, he invented his own currency that was accepted at all of the establishments in San Francisco. In fact, no musical in San Francisco would open without having saved a seat for Joshua Norton. That's how important he was to the San Franciscans. This one time, Joshua Norton, there was a race riot in San Francisco. White people were mad at Chinese people because they existed, and white people did not like that very much. And so Joshua Norton just went out in the middle of this race riot, held his hands up, and he was like, stop! Don't race riot. And then he prayed for like a real long time, and everyone got bored and left. So he clearly had enough power to do some things, but he was definitely crazy. He was really crazy. Like, very much insane. And so one time, because he was so crazy, there was this one time that a policeman actually arrested Joshua Norton. Because this policeman was just, what are we doing? What are we doing? This guy's gonna do some bad things because he's crazy. So they arrested him. But everybody in San Francisco was so up in arms at the idea of somebody arresting their quote-unquote emperor that they protested it so hard that the chief of police had to let Joshua go from their police custody. But Joshua was a good sport about it, and he gave an imperial pardon to the policeman that had arrested him. Despite the fact that Josh was like definitely very crazy, he did have like some ideas that weren't crazy. Like, he came up with the idea of a league perhaps of nations. Or a Bay Bridge connecting San Francisco and Oakland. Despite all of his great ideas, there was one idea that he couldn't stop, and that was the idea of death. Because in 1880, he died. He died. And after he died, he just sort of collapsed in the middle of the street. Like, we don't really know why he died, but he just was in the street and he fell. And then he was dead after that. But about two or 3 days later, they held his funeral for Emperor Norton. And 30,000 people came to his funeral. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people for one guy. After he was dead, some people went around, they checked his house and stuff. Joshua, despite being the emperor, and despite being able to make his own currency and not having to pay for literally anything, he had $6 to his name when he died. So yeah, it's a story about a guy that declared himself emperor and then died. And he was pretty cool. He was a pretty good dude. That's it. That's the end of the video. I'm over it now. Make sure to subscribe to Crash Course on YouTube for more great thought piece videos. My name's Grandjean, and that's it. Voice inside you whispers, kid, don't sell